it's good to see that the talk's coming at this time of the morning, because it's not all accountancy, but at least it hasn't scared too many people away to hear a wee bit about where we are with regards to technology in accountancy for your business. And it's important, I think, if you're running your own business, you can know about this stuff now, to know what your accountants should be doing and what they should be using and what's possible. So I want to sort of walk you through where we are in relation to AI in accountancy and numbers, and what you can actually use in your business to make your life a lot easier, because unfortunately you have to do some of this stuff. You can go and dump all your stuff with your accountant or your bookkeeper, but actually there's loads of technology there now that can do most of the work for you. So that's what I'm going to be talking about today, and I'll take a few questions at the end. Just a quick wee bit of background about myself. I am the CEO and founder of Satori Accounting. We're a small accounting business up in the northwest, up in Derry. And I was the first ever Xero certified advisor actually in Northern Ireland, and that was 14 years ago. So I had a job. It was a nice job. It was a good job. It was a tough job. It was well paid. But I found out about Xero way back in 2009. And I thought, this is the way forward for how an accountant should be working with a client. It's going to give you real-time, up-to-date information. Whereas what it normally does with an accountant is you find out about everything historically. And this was the way forward. So I ditched my job, set up with 5 clients, and off we went. And we've done a few things since then with a few awards and so on. But I don't want to talk about too much about us today, because Marty will kill me. So I want to talk about the evolution of technology in accountancy. Many people in here are running their own business. Show of hands. Nobody run their own business? Anybody aware of any of the requirements for what you've got to be doing in terms of your books and your record keeping and all that kind of stuff? So let me give you a wee bit of background on that. So you've got to keep your financial records. You're going to have bank statements. You're going to have receipts and invoices and all this kind of stuff. Nowadays, the possibilities of how you do this are endless. And you can save so much time by using the right technology in the right way, and so can your accountant. But just to give you a bit of background as to how all this started, nowadays we're all kind of living in the cloud. We're all living in that kind of environment with everything that we're doing. Accountancy and bookkeeping and all this finance stuff is no different, and it should be no different, and that's who you should be working with. Xero was a company which came out of New Zealand around 2007-8, and what made me attracted to it was it had this thing called a bank feed. Anybody know what a bank feed is? So you've got your online bank account, and normally what would happen is your accountant would say, go and give us all your bank statements. I need to list everything off them and tell you how you're doing and categorize things. So a bank feed just connects your bank account and your technology called Xero. You basically categorize everything. So Xero was the first company to do that, and they did it with HSBC. Now we've got open banking, which means bank technology can kind of connect to anything. It's very, very commonplace. But way back in 2008-9, it wasn't. Then you think about all the apps you've got on your phone nowadays. Well, back in 2008, that wasn't the case when the first iPhone came out. But what is the case now is that you'll have a mobile app for mileage if you're doing business mileage. You'll have a mobile app for taking photographs of your receipts. You'll have a mobile app for your business expenditure on a card. And all of these things are connected and automated onto your main accounting platform, and we use Xero for ours. But there's been a lot of evolution. For about 5 years, there was very little evolution. When Xero first opened up its API, it wasn't until about 2014 that there was about 350 other companies able to connect onto Xero. Now there's well over 1,000, probably close to 1,500, and it's growing all the time. And that's just the way it is with technology. AI is going to make a massive change in that. So what I'm going to look at today is just to give you examples of Xero and Dex and SIF. These are 3 bits of software we use, but they're available for any business and any accountant, to show you what they, and talk about what they actually do and how they can actually save you time, and how they can actually improve a relationship between you and an accountant if you're a business owner. Because historically, there's been a traditional approach. Accountants get to the end of a point of a year, then they contact you, then they tell you how you did for the previous 12 months. This technology should be telling you how you're doing this week, last week, and what your next 12 months looks like. All right. I'll also have a wee chat around AI and what I'm now seeing happening in the fintech sector for all of that. And some of it is mind-blowing. And as someone with undiagnosed ADHD, I have spent several of the last weekends getting down rabbit holes looking at what AI can do for my business. And some of it is pretty mind-blowing. Okay, so I'm going to talk now about the 3. There's thousands of these things. I'm going to give you an example on 3. Xero's the main thing that we use with our clients, and our clients use it as well. So they've got their bank account connected, and we're able to see everything that they're doing in and out of their bank account, tell them how their business is doing, tell them how much they save for tax, tell them how much they need to spend on certain things to save more on their tax bill as well. And that's the main platform we use. Now, I'm going to do this in a sort of then, now, and when format to look at the history of this. When Xero first started, basically it was just a bank feed, but it was revolutionary. Nowadays, what Xero can do is it will be connected to your payment platforms, so that all of the money you're receiving through the likes of Stripe and payment card processors, all those transactions are coming into Xero. It's connected to all the other apps. It can automate all your invoicing functionality. You can do automated sending out of invoices, automated emails, and so on. So the functionality is massive. But what's going to happen in the next number of years is AI is coming in. AI is there already, but there has been a steep learning curve in relation to getting all this automation in place. And in actual fact, a lot of accountants and a lot of business owners are still not aware of all this stuff being available. With AI coming in, there will be another learning curve, but the potential is massive. For example, and I'm just to make a wee note of what I've got here. I looked at Xero last night to see what are they currently talking about in relation to AI. About a month ago, I signed up with to be a beta tester on what they call JAX, which is JAX. It's called Just Ask Xero, which is kind of like an AI assistant when you log in to sort of get you can tell it to do certain things. Or it was meant to start off by asking questions. What they're now looking to do with JAX is basically that will be an AI robot within your Xero account. So, and it will actually prompt you if you're doing something or have done something. So if you've done an invoice for a customer, the assistant will be built in such a way to say, would you like me to send this to the email address we've got here? Yes. Okay. Would you like me to send reminders at a certain point in time? Yes, I'll set that up. They haven't paid on time. Do you want to send another reminder out? Yes, please do. This is what Xero is going in relation to their JAX robot. And that is going to cut out so much manual steps and tasks in your financial processes that it's going to be such a time saver. You'll be able to focus on the main bits of your business, which is the creative, entrepreneurial part of your business. Dex is going down the same road. When Dex first started, it was called Receipt Bank. It was just a mobile app. Take photographs of receipts and you've got them for your accountant. Nowadays, Dex is a mobile app to send into Xero. You can set up rules to tell certain things in Dex. So if you send a receipt for a garage where you've bought fuel, you will tell Dex that's always motor fuel, there's VAT and so on. Push it in and it's all done for you. And Dex has got optical character recognition software to extract that. You don't have to type anything in. But again, where Dex is going with AI is they've now been talking about a mileage tracker, which is going to sit in your phone and link to Dex. And if you're going to go on a journey and it's a business journey, clocks your miles, creates a mileage claim, and you can get money back out of your business at tax efficient rates to do that. Right now, you have to kind of manually do that and record it. There is mileage apps to do it, but you still have a number of manual steps to do it. This is basically saying AI is going to take it to the stage where you do a journey and say, that's my mileage done. Okay, you can claim back X amount now to your company. Do you want that paid out into your bank account? So this is where it's going. But the promise is there, but it's going to take a few years for all that adaptation to take place in the sector as well. In relation to Soft Analytics, Soft Analytics is a tool which connects into Xero. Okay, if you want to find out how your business is doing and you want some dashboards, you want some fancy graphs because you hate looking at numbers, something like Sift is going to be good. The reason I've picked Sift today as an example is Xero have just acquired them, which makes it a really, really interesting sort of prospect. Now, Xero has bought a number of companies in the last 5 years. They haven't all been good acquisitions in fairness, but this one looks interesting because Sift was one of the first tools in our area to put AI in there, where it's going to be suggesting to you, tell you how your business is doing, suggest how you can improve your figures and numbers, which at the end of the day improves your lifestyle. Also, it's going to have some predictive capabilities as well. So it's going to look at your historic data and say, okay, based on your current trends, here's what you might be doing in the next 12 months. Would you like to change that in any way? So it's going to get very, very powerful to allow business owners to get the real decisions made quickly and based on numbers that are there in front of them. without having to wait a long time to get all of that done. So there's huge potential in all of these things going forward with AI as well. So, just work through the next bit here. AI growth. So, got a statistic on the slide here. About 80% of accounting tasks could be automated by 2026. Now, I'm standing here as an accountant, running an accounting business, and I think, a lot of us have that fear of AI and what it means for job replacement and job displacement. I'm not sure if that's going to happen that fast. And the reason I would say that is that I mentioned about the bank feed technology earlier, where you connect your bank account into your Xero account. In the UK, businesses who are using Xero for their bookkeeping, only 50% of them have a connected bank feed in a day where you can connect your bank account. So that begs the question, what the hell are the rest of them doing in relation to using Xero? The answer is they're using it in what I call an old school way. They're literally importing or manually still adding stuff in because they don't either trust the bank feed or they're just not aware of it. There's the odd bank which mightn't have great technology, so they're kind of dodging it on that basis. But if we're 14 years, 15 years into this journey, and only 50% of businesses on Xero in the UK are using a bank feed, I'm not sure that's going to happen that fast with AI. But it will happen that fast if businesses embrace it, utilise it, and work with accountants who are doing the same thing. And that is going to happen. I thought that was a big shout for you there. This isn't just going to happen, of course, in accountancy. I think we can all see AI happening every day, like on your phone. You're typing, you can swipe now to finish off your emails because it's all suggested. I mean, that is AI technology at work. Microsoft have obviously got Copilot built into their software as well. And I've only sort of tinkered with some of these things just to see what's possible. And same with Microsoft Copilot, the AI assistants kind of ask you, you're trying to do a proposal here, do you want to find one that's done before? Yes, I do. How do you want to change that? Like, it's absolutely mind-blowing once you start using this stuff. And I do tend to go down the rabbit hole and lose about 2 hours of your life trying to do things that I didn't need to do just to see if I could do it. I don't know if any of you kind of do that sort of thing as well. Lead generation is something I was looking at over the last couple of weekends. And lead generation for me, I suppose, as a business owner, has always been one of those things. It's not my skill set. It's not my comfort zone. I'm looking now at what AI is making possible. So, how many of you in the room have used ChatGPT? That's interesting because if I said to you, how many have used accounting technology, probably, I would guess, very little. But everybody, oh, good man, Marty. Everybody's using ChatGPT. And we're all in agreement that the more you use it and the better you prompt it, the faster it is and the better it is. So, I hope I'm right in saying this, but the way I've been using it is starting off with telling ChatGPT who it is and how good it is at doing something. So, for example, I had a client rung us this week and says, look, I want to save tax. Here's what I'm thinking of doing. It was kind of specialised area, and I would normally get a tax specialist who I would just ring up and say, listen, can you expand on this? Because I don't know all the ins and outs, and it's very specialised, and there's a lot of grey areas. So I'd normally do that. Before I did it this time, I asked ChatGPT, and what I said to ChatGPT was, you are my UK tax specialist with intricate knowledge of UK tax law and legislation. You will now answer questions on the following, and here's the scenario. The response that I got out of it honestly shook me. I was like, oh my God, this is so accurate, but also so expansive in how many scenarios it actually built out. I went and spoke to the tax consultant, and they could only add another 10-20% of things to that. So to be able to give a client information going, okay, here's what we need to think about first, this, and this. Does any of that interest you? Okay, it doesn't. Let me talk to somebody else and we'll fill in the gaps. So it's unbelievable what we can actually do. And to me, it's these emerging technologies is all about the speed of what you can do with people and how quickly as a business you can respond to your customers if you're going to use it in the right way. For lead generation, just to go back on that one as well, lead generation, as I say, is a struggling point for me, and I've looked at all sorts of technology and how you should be doing things, and should you be DMing people on LinkedIn, or is that not a thing to do, or what do you actually do? And people say, oh, connect and just end it. Ask 1,000 people, and 3 of them might sign up with you anyway. Still sounds like to me. So I was looking at AI just to see what can AI actually do to help me with lead generation. So I watched a couple of videos, as you do, on YouTube, and what the guys were doing was basically using web scraping. Does anybody know what web scraping is? It's just web scraping tools to basically go and say, okay, put a prompt into your Gemini Google searches to basically say, I want to connect with estate agents in Northern Ireland. And you'll get a whole pile of maybe, you'll put a prompt in for maybe Instagram. So it'll give you all the Instagram profiles for estate agents in Northern Ireland. And then you can use a web scraping tool. And if they've got like an email address or whatever in there, the web scraping tool can get all that for you. You can copy and paste that entire Google or Gemini search into ChatGPT and give it a prompt to say, what I want you to do is with all of this information, send it back to me in a table. First column is the first name, then the surname, then the business name, and then the email address. Then you can literally say, give me it in CSV format, and then you've got an Excel file with thousands of leads that you can possibly put into your CRM system and add them onto lists to say, look, would you like to subscribe to this list? And I can send you some information about how you can save money or how you can build your social media audience or whatever your business happens to be. So it's absolutely mind-blowing what AI is doing in all sectors. And for me, I'm talking about fintech stuff, but I have to talk about all the business angles because at the end of the day, you have to get customers on. So that's one thing I found that you might find useful. Voice commands for AI tasks is going to be interesting as that kind of builds out as well. Not sure it'll cope with a Northern Ireland accent, never mind a Derry accent, but we'll see. Other things that's happening just in relation to accountancy and how accountants can and should be working. So you need an accountant to do a tax return for you every year. And that is a fairly manual process. Yes, there's software. Yes, we'll send it electronically to HMRC, but it's still a manual process to get the information from a client, plug it into all the various boxes on a tax return, get someone to give it a review in the office to make sure we're not missing anything, everything's in the right place, and then get it sent through to HMRC. So we're starting to use a few things called Tax Torch and Tax on Demand, which is an AI assistant built to check the entries you've done on tax returns. That actually cuts out a human task, but it's a human task which doesn't really, in the client's eyes and the customer's eyes, doesn't add any value. They just expect you to know it and do it. So why not use that if it's built around the tax legislation to let it go and do its job? Error reduction is a big thing I'm seeing now. So there's a bit of software called Xenon Connect. So if you have a set of books, you can connect it up to this and it'll tell you, oh, we found a whole pile of things in your data here that might need to look at. You've got two contexts, one called Kieran Phelan and one called K Phelan. Is that the same thing? Should we just merge those together? So there's, and you know, you've bought things from a certain supplier. Some of them have VAT and some don't. Is that right? Are you missing out in VAT or are you actually claiming it incorrectly? So it gives you this information so that you don't have to go digging and you don't need the expertise to do it. But for accountants, that should save a humongous amount of time instead of doing all the box ticking exercise. You'll actually be able to go back then, just based on what our previous speaker was saying, and have better conversations with your clients. How are you doing? How's business? How's your family? What are you trying to do? How many kids? You've got 3 kids now. Okay, have you thought about things about the planning for the future of this, that, and the other? These are the types of conversations that AI should and will facilitate with accountants rather than just talking about bog standard numbers. And the technology is there and it's going to go real fast in the next number of years. Okay, in terms of what we all should be doing in relation to AI is we all should be learning what it's all about and we probably should be using it daily if we possibly can, the likes of ChatGPT. I certainly use ChatGPT every day for something because it's just the speed of what you can do, the time that'll save you. And like I suppose as a business owner, if I think about myself, I have 2 kids, they're both neurodiverse. I like to go and lift them from school. So if I can save half an hour or an hour a day by doing certain things in certain ways, it frees up your time for those things as well. That's the importance of AI in accounting technology, because some of this stuff that you have to do, let's be honest, it's boring. It's not that exciting. There's better things you could be doing with your time. So we all need to go on a bit of a learning curve and a learning journey with AI in everything that we're doing. And if you are employing a team, I encourage my team, start using Gemini. Just fart about with it and see what you can get out of it. Use ChatGPT. The accounting software providers are going to solve a lot of this anyway, because they're going to just build AI solutions into their software. The likes of Xero with their Jack software. It's going to happen like that. Okay, I got nearly out of time. So I'll just close by saying that speed to me is the key with all of this. And at Satori, we're always looking to try and save people time, give them energy, help them with a bit more money. Using AI and using these tools enables us to understand more about them. There's one thing that AI can't do and probably won't be able to do, and that's empathy. It's a black and white tool. It'll give you facts, it'll give you figures. That human contact part is the bit I think that every business needs to improve on, focus more on, and allow this stuff to do what it can do to save you the time and the energy to put more energy into creating empathetic and genuine relationships with people. That's certainly what I want to do with our clients. Understand them as people, tell them about their numbers, but do it in an empathetic fashion. I can tell you now, most clients of ours, and even people who aren't clients of ours, when they contact us, they're contacting us out of a place of maybe fear, maybe curiosity. It's an emotional decision that they're making. So we need to use all the technology to do the bog standard stuff that it will be able to do and can enhance the human relationship that we all should be enhancing. Thank you very much for listening. If anybody's any questions on anything I've been talking about, I'm more than happy to hang about now for 10 minutes.
So you're my accountant, also full disclosure.
Allegedly.
And you know what? He's so good now. We were he was my accountant way back when we started our pause, and then we had an investor who wanted to use another accountant. Sorry, Kieran, and Kieran was so good we went back. So there you go, right? You know me, and you know my approach to AI, approach to machine learning, etc., right? What will this do to what you might call legacy accountancy practices? What's your prediction there?
I remember hearing a phrase once by a guy is an entrepreneur over in London, and his whole business ethos, Marty, was you either innovate or you evaporate. Now, the thing about the types of accountants you're saying are legacy accountants, I think they're of a certain age anyway, where maybe they're like, it's just, I'm too late in the game to be thinking about these things. But there are certain accountants, if you look at them now on social media, who are in their 20s. Does anybody follow, this is really, if you don't know accountancy, you might even know what I'm talking about here, but there's a lady called Rachel Harris, accountant she. If you follow her on social media, you'll see what's going to happen with the legacy accountants. Rachel's on this morning talking about she's just pure PR now and pure social media. And in the background, using all the AI tools to let the team get on with it. It's a tough one if they haven't already adopted the technology. It's going to be a bigger leap now. And I've worked with accountants that they've asked me to come in and actually look at their business in terms of, look, you guys are doing this from the first day that it came to Northern Ireland. How can we start replicating that and work with clients? And I've tried to help, but they're still learning, Marty. And it's a mindset thing. They've got to change the mindset to actually realise that these things are happening. We should adapt. We should make it work for us. Or let the younger team come in and do that as well. There's no way we're going to push this away. It's going to happen. So I would encourage sort of legacy accountants to allow the younger team that they have, if they have a younger team, to kind of get on board with it and see what's possible. That's my experience. I went to a guy in Northern Ireland. He said, I done a talk at Chartered Accountants Ireland. He said, I want to pay you to come on for 3 days and sort things out for us. He says, no problem. The first day I arrived, he said, I need to talk to you before you talk to the team. He shut the door and said, by the way, I just want to tell you, what you're talking about now, Kieran, is going to kill accountants. It's going to be the death of our profession. And I was like, I'm here to talk for 3 days about how brilliant this is. And, so the mindset wasn't there. And there's still, like, I've gone back to them a few times to say, a bit like a previous talker was saying, do you want to get free value? Do you want to come back again and just have a chat to you? And there's no communication at all. But that to me is down to a lack of a human interaction and just having the wrong mindset. So I would encourage legacy accountants to kind of let younger generations come through and do this stuff. Anybody else any questions? I'm a Luton Town football fan. Anybody want to question me on that? Well, a question I have is, has anybody ever met a Luton Town Football Club fan? No, so just me. Probably only one Northern Ireland. So there you go.
This is probably more based off clients that I deal with in the financial sector. When AI sort of, as we talk about the AI boom over the last couple of years, a lot of clients are obviously afraid of AI, more so because they're dealing with such confidential information. So I probably would like to get your opinion on it. You know, do you have clients that are afraid of you guys using AI internally? Obviously, when you're putting in a ChatGPT, I presume you're just putting in a scenario and no proper information. But a lot of clients are afraid. And I've had clients actually block certain AI so that they can't have the risk of people putting in that information, because we don't really overly know where it's going because it's open. So probably just any of your experience from that. We're starting to see the transition now. And internally we're building a private AI, so we're kind of getting away from that. But it's probably just your experience with working with people who probably are older and kind of don't really know what it is.
Yeah. I think it's the same thing in relation to online banking. I still have a few clients who are really nervous about having an online bank account, because it's like, who can see this and who can dabble with it and who can get your money. But in relation to, I suppose, the whole legislative side of it, I'm aware that I think the EU were the first to kind of act on getting directives out there about the usage and the disclosure of using AI. So at the moment, from a confidential basis, accountants are bound by this code of ethics. You have to keep everything confidential. So anything we do on it, it's just here's a situation, company A, company B, and you have to make sure that people are aware that you've got to do it like that. For us, that kind of goes without saying, but I think you have to build that process just into people and into the business as well, to make sure that nothing that shouldn't be in there is getting put in there. So it's just using it the right way.
Yeah, it's probably clients have had the right policies around it now.
Yeah.
It's a very new thing, and you have to get your staff to sign off to say,
Yes.
if you're based on an investor or something like that, you have to be. So it's probably just a shift in it and the compliance side of it.
I think it's like everything else in a business. You have to have a process, and you have to have some kind of guidelines to say, this is what you can do, but make sure you don't do this, especially when it's open AI. So that's certainly what we're doing as well. You just have to make everybody aware. And I would say as well, for anybody who is planning to use AI for whatever, always add a human touch. Has anybody noticed we get outsourcers from the Philippines or India now? It's a big thing in the UK accounting sector. Look, instead of having employees here, we'll give you 3 people here. The responses they give you on your posts on LinkedIn are completely AI, and you spot it within a millisecond. Oh, that's really interesting. I'd be keen to be here. You just know it's ChatGPT. It's journaled it out, copy and paste it in, and immediately it's like those DM messages the previous speaker was talking about. It's like, no, you have to have the human element, and humans have to build those processes to manage the AI as well. So, thank you very much.
Yep, thank you.